Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey. My wife Nancy and I invested many of our adult years in France in evangelistic and pastoral ministry. At one point, our little church in Paris rented rooms at the Bataclan Theatre on the Boulevard Voltaire, where terrorists slaughtered 90 people on November 13th, 2015. 8 months later, on July 14th, the French national holiday known as Bastille Day, a terrorist in the Mediterranean city of Nice drove a large truck for more than a mile along the beachside promenade through an enormous crowd of spectators who were exiting a fireworks show, killing 84 people and injuring dozens more. Years ago, we spent considerable time helping a church in Nice, so could visualize the mayhem that ruptured so many families in that beautiful city. Little surprise, therefore, that the following story hit us hard. On July 26, 2016, two Islamist teenagers armed with knives and a fake bomb stormed into a French church in the little town of Saint-Étienne-du-Rouvray, a working-class suburb of the cathedral city of Rouen in Normandy. They then forced an aged parishioner to film them as they slit the throat of the 85-year-old priest Jacques Hamel as he was celebrating Mass before a small congregation. Frère Jacques, as he was called, was loved by all. A little like a grandfather, said a colleague. Fortunately, a quick-thinking nun, Sister Hélène, managed to escape from the church when she saw what was happening. Thinking I was going to die, she confessed, I offered my life to God. But she got out, and she immediately alerted the police, who moved quickly to shoot dead the two young terrorists when they exited the church. Eventually, the remaining two nuns and two parishioners got out alive, though not before one of them suffered serious knife wounds. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attack, calling the two thugs, get this, soldiers. By what line of reasoning, I don't know. Historically, a church is recognized as a sanctuary, not only a sacred place, but also a safe place, a haven. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe, wrote King Solomon. Slaughtering an 85-year-old priest as he is celebrating the love of God in a sanctuary is the ultimate soft target and evidence of devil-inspired ignorance. The Sunday after the slaughter, July 31st, many Muslims attended Catholic Mass in churches across France in solidarity and sorrow following the brutal murder of the martyred priest. More than 100 Muslims were among the 2,000 who were gathered in the imposing Cathedral of Rouen, for example. I thank you in the name of all Christians, Archbishop Dominique Lebrun told them. In this way you are affirming that you reject death and violence in the name of God. Some of the Muslims sat in the front row across from the altar. Among the parishioners was one of the nuns who had been briefly taken hostage at Hamel's church after the priest was slaughtered. She joined her fellow Catholics in turning to shake hands or embrace the Muslim churchgoers after the service. There's a striking irony here. Fanatical Islamists who want Muslims to perceive Christians as infidels and enemies prompted many Muslims to do the totally unthinkable, attend Christian churches to demonstrate solidarity with peace-loving people. The priest has gone to his reward. The terrorists have gone the other way. The wicked bought a one-way ticket to hell, wrote the psalmist, according to a modern paraphrase. My thoughts went to the words of Jesus to his 12 disciples, most of whom finished their earthly ministry by being executed. In the Gospel of Luke chapter 4, he instructs his followers, "Dear friends, don't be afraid of those who want to kill your body, They cannot do any more to you after that. But I'll tell you whom to fear. Fear God, who has the power to kill you and then throw you into hell. Yes, he's the one to fear. The Apostle Paul was eventually imprisoned in Rome, awaiting execution, charged by the religious fanatics in Jerusalem who had earlier accused Jesus Christ and, like him, delivered him to the Romans so that they could do the dirty work. In captivity, he wrote what became a significant portion of the New Testament. Unintimidated, he wrote, "To me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." To his helper Timothy, Paul wrote, "God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but a power of love and self-discipline." So never be ashamed to tell others about our Lord. Like the old priest, you and I don't know what persecution might await us, but we can all find encouragement in the words of our Lord to Christian believers, recorded in Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. "Be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life." Thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.